Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Legion Elite Motorsports. I'm your host Isaiah, and today we are going to start ripping apart some of the mayhem on the yellow conquest. So let's dive in, let's see what we got, and let's see what we can discover. Alright, so let's dive in. Alright, you know what time it is. Let's start pulling stuff out. I want to work from the front and work my way back. So I have the key in the on position. I'm going to start with the radiator fans. Then I'm going to work on removing this automatic transmission cooler, which is definitely aftermarket, and held on the intercooler by zip ties. So first, I want to make sure that all of my fans work. How you do that is from the thermostatic switch, aka ground, technically. Thermostatic switch grounds out the circuit and then the fans turn on. So, car's on the on position. This is radiator fan number 1. It looks like they already kind of set this one up for the grounding circuit on the thermostatic switch. So, that's one that works perfect. All right. And then I pulled this wire off, which is again the same thing. All right. Listen closely. All right, so we got power, we got everything we need, but this fan, no good. All right. And then this one, same deal. Looks like they have this hooked up to a switch, which is ground. That one works perfectly. So we have two working, one not. So we're gonna definitely replace this one in general. But we are going to take all of our thermostatic switches as one, and we're gonna connect it to the thermostatic switch we're gonna put in line, which has a probe. It's not in yet, but we're going to get it prepared for that. So we're going to extend this wire, and we're going to move this wire from here around to the other side, probably through the hole and through here. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect it as one ground, okay? And once the switch comes in, we're going to connect the switch to there, and it'll automatically come on without any issues. But we do have to find another fan for that side. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to keep this wire. I'm going to move this wire out of the engine bay. But before we do that, got my handy dandy cutters. We're going to take this aftermarket cheesy oil cooler out because we are no longer going to be automatic. So this is the first step. So we're going to cut these. And get this out of here. We're not going to disconnect it yet because, of course, transmission fluid is going to start flowing and make a big mess. So we're just going to disconnect it from the intercooler, place it aside for now, and continue going through the rest. So next, after that, we're going to have to take this wire out. We're going to unravel it neatly, hopefully find a place where it ends and disconnect it there. This is coming out. If it doesn't have a mount, we're going to cut that off because it's not needed. We're not going to use it. Also, we're going to take this out, and we're going to take this out for now. Okay. We might relocate these back to the factory position depending if they didn't massacre the mounting points under this pan. So let's get started. Okay, so excuse the fan. It's actually like 100 and change outside, pretty hot. We have everything loose here. That black box ignition system was spited into some wires in here. We're not going to need that, so I taped it back over as they had it. And now we have to put the rest of this together. But this is the ignition switch on. This stays on, you know, whether you're starting the car or not. This is going to go straight to the coil because that gives it power. And then the ground is going to be coming from the distributor. Of course, once we get there, we haven't got there yet, but yeah. So we got some wiring to do over here. I want to put back up the tree with the original bolts. The fuel pressure regulator, I want to mount that off of here or here. I think I have a bracket. Gonna go check for that. And also I might either move the coil or leave it here and extend some of these wires to reach and take it from there. But yeah, that should definitely do it for this area here. I'm gonna straighten everything up and we should be good to go. This original stuff can go back to its original place, except this, we're not gonna be using this anymore. This plug actually goes to the igniter box. Without this, technically you won't have spark, but I have a way around this, so I'm not worried about that. We can tuck that away. We're missing the case here. I'm gonna see if I can find it in the pile of parts and get that situated, get it looking back to factory, and yeah, I'll be back once this area is straightened up. Okay, next we are diving deep on this harness to pull it out of here. I was thinking about using the injector clips, but then I see that the injector clips, the color on them are completely black. So I'd rather have some injector clips that actually have some good color on it. So I know what's going to where and why and take it from there. But besides pulling that out or whatever, here's the clip that bolts into that. Pretty simple. Power for all of the injectors, and then it turns them on and off with these 4 wires, which are ground. So simple enough. TPS, cut that. Water temperature sensor right down there. Focus, focus. Okay, maybe not. How about now? There we go. Temperature sensor down there, cut it. We have a, this one's for the actual gauge. Water temperature sensor right here. Then we have a air temperature sensor right here. We're actually going to reuse that one. That's beautiful. Going to use that. This, I believe that this is a idle air control valve, pretty much. And we don't need that. That's just okay. So that's a part there. Here's a line that went into the boost side, which is this pipe right here. Then we have another line that comes in from vacuum, which is this guy right here. Okay, and I'm gonna end up doing something with that one there, and probably capping this one here off and adjusting the throttle body from the adjuster right there. Okay. So if it has low idle or anything like that, we can calibrate it via TPS. We'll get to that, you know, of course, when we get to it, but in general, not needed. Don't have it over there. Don't need it over here. So, pulling the rest of these wires out, I'm gonna take these injectors out because from what I understand, whoever did this mayhem use different injectors to get the right air fuel ratio, which I've never ever heard of before, but it's funny. We're not going to do that either. So all of these injectors are going to get taken out. I'm going to check them out, flow test them, make sure whatever injectors are working like they should be, and then take it from there. But anyway, I have another pair of injectors that's going to be going in here. They're 1000 cc high impedance Simmons Deca. Probably butchered that name, but it's okay, you get the point. And we're gonna slide those in. And also a new fuel pressure regulator. That one works, but doesn't have a vacuum, so whatever you set it to, it is what it is, and it doesn't go up, which is bad. So yeah, we're gonna finish pulling out the rest of these wires and clear up this engine bay. That's what I'm trying to do here, is clear up this engine bay and clear up this wiring harness. Also have to take out this map sensor. We don't need that either. We don't. So yeah, let's kick it off from there. Let me get more of this stuff out of here and let's see what we got. Okay, so we are under the car and we're taking this crank sensor out. We're not gonna need that. Yeah, so that's coming out. Got 2 bolts and 1 wire. Wire's already been cut. Yeah. So gonna take this out, alleviate some of the headache. Okay, so it looks a lot cleaner, or a lot more empty, if anything. But what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go to top dead center and see where the cylinder number 1 is pointing to on the head and take it from there. I'm gonna double check by taking a look at the cam. There's only 2 ways that it can go in. It's either directly where it's supposed to be or 180 out. So I'm gonna pop the cap on this here. So let me do that. It's a little hard to reach. Okay, give me just a second. There we go, there's 1, 2 right there. And basically what we want to do is see exactly where the rotor is pointing. So looks like it's pointing down. Cylinder number 1 should be up in this area normally. So we're gonna call that 11 o'clock. Okay, if you're looking head on to the distributor, that would be 11 o'clock. So I'm going to rotate the motor by hand until I get to TDC. Hold on, here we go. On the crank pulley, right there. Okay, we're getting into the T. So I'm gonna rotate this. Alrighty, until we get to top dead center, and that'll be good. So when we put the distributor in, there's no question. So I'm gonna keep going until I see a mark. Alrighty. Alright, let me make sure that is a mark. Usually they highlight everything so there's no mistaking, but not in this case. So we're gonna keep going. Alrighty, there it is, the highlighted section. Alright. Geez, let me see what part of that highlighted section is the mark. Oh, okay, just a scooch forward. Right there. Okay, so as you can see, that is top dead center, and that sucker looks about right, give or take. Of course, this isn't the original distributor, so you can't really tell this way, but we're gonna pull it out, take the valve cover off, and take a look. Okay, guys, you can definitely see better than I can. All right, we got the 12 o'clock dot and the original dot over where it's supposed to be. That looks like it is in time. So that actually came out perfect. Now we're going to swap out that distributor, you know, once we put one together. But 1342 is the firing order. So we're going to make sure that when we put on a new distributor, we put it in such a manner, and we should be good to go. Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and pull the injectors off, since we got the wiring harness and everything out of the way. Okay, so this is the original mounting tab there, and over here the people who put this intake manifold in did some additional bracing with this one, that one, and that one, which is actually a pretty smart idea, because even with the solid mounts, the rail still rocks. So I commend them on that, definitely. So I mean, it's a little bit more to take the rail off, but, you know, not too big of a deal. So we're looking at some 12 millimeter screws here. Originally, usually when you get aftermarket bolts, they step up to 13 millimeter, depending on what kind you get. But this should be pretty straightforward. We're going to take out these 12 millimeters, including that one and that one over there, and take the rail out. Let's see what we're working with as far as injectors, and let's see what symbols are on the injectors. So we'll take it from there. Also, I wanted to express that this rail isn't original, as I mean, besides this, of course, but it looks like they hacked off the end to put in a threaded piece. It already comes threaded, but the type of fitting is a little extinct. So they chopped that off, welded this one on there, and then a 6AN adapter, pretty much. And in the back, looks more like a factory setup, because it does bolt in as such, but I'm pretty sure they welded and modified the rear end of this also in order to get it to work. But they did modify it, and you know, they did a pretty good job of doing that to get it to work. Other than that, yeah, this sucker's got to come out changing these injectors. So just wanted to point that out for you guys, and that's about it. Okay, so we got the old injectors out, and then the new injectors, which are the same brand but one primary size. See if you can see that. These are 1000 cc. I know it says it somewhere on here. Maybe not. But anyway, these are the ones that I've tested, and those came out perfection. And those are the ones that are different sizes. I'm gonna flow them and see what sizes they are, but we're gonna pop these in beforehand and take it from there. And with that being said, we're gonna call it an episode right there. We're going to dive into the interior to take out some of those electrical components on the inside next episode. So stay tuned for that. We're going to dive in, and I hope you guys enjoy. So if you are new here, definitely don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon for updated notifications. And I will see you guys next time. Remember, knowledge is power.